Lakers have a chance to be now the worst shooting team in league history. This is a failure.
Their season is but they're probably about 10 games away from their season most likely being over.
They're behind the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Just had a 5-game winning streak.
And they still number 12.
I trade LeBron and Anthony.
Well, things haven't gone ideally. When the Lakers are at their best is when they're physical.
Yeah.
They're playing downhill. They're playing with authority. Okay? It's been foretold by the elders have told us this for centuries.
Really?
That a great man is coming. Really? And he's going to deliver the Lakers.
Hello, welcome to the meeting of the Gold Minds. This is your host, Tony Vega. Again, I'm filling in for Alan, and honestly, we are recording this. We are actually live. We should be live in both platforms, Twitter and YouTube. We are actually discussing and reacting as we come out of this game one against Denver. And again, because we are the Purple and Gold Minds, because this is a meeting of the Purple and Gold Minds, we got the crew here. We got KB, we got Zen, Rebel he is, and we got Lake Show King. Appreciate you guys for joining in. We are hot coming from playback. It's not the ideal situation. Lakers were down big, around 20. I think it was going into the third quarter or things like that. We rallied back. We actually keep it around 3-point shot, like a 3-point deficit. We were about to go for the go-ahead, and I have this in my mind. But again, LeBron shoots 2 threes, which fell short. His reaction going into the tunnel says it all. I think he says, "Oh my God." Honestly, that was an attainable game. We had basically a hot shooting Denver around, I think, what was it, a 40% or 50% clip. I think King has some data. But honestly, Anthony Davis was big here. Jokic actually had a triple-double. It was actually a epic fight between two of the best of the West. But we kind of came up short. And it left a very sour taste in a lot of Laker fans out there. So I want to go, and I'm going to do this a bit different, but Zen, my friend, how's it going, man? How are you feeling after that game?
It's going lovely. We performed better than I anticipated. I knew game one was going to be a struggle for us. I did not anticipate us winning. Look, there's a home court advantage that Denver has that it takes a while to get used to. And look, the fact that it was competitive to the very end, it's no moral victories, but hey, we move on to game two.
Agreed. We do move on to game two. KB, how are you feeling after that game?
Pretty good. Not too bad. I know at first I was pissed off since we do a playback. Remember, you guys should definitely join playback with us. Yeah, I was upset because I can't stand bad basketball, but then again, I do have to remember, and just like every other Laker fan out there that was frustrated with this loss, getting accumulated to the elevation is a big thing. And seeing that we did come back from a 21-point deficit with probably the Nuggets best efficient, the best game they could have had against us on game one, and we only lost by 5. So I'm pretty good and hopeful that with a lot of game film and probably some restructuring to the lineup, our starting lineup and closing lineup, we should be fine.
Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute myself. No, yeah, that starting lineup was kind of crazy. We had Schroeder, D'Lo, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and AD with a high, with the starting lineup for Denver of Gordon, Porter, Jokic, Murray, and KCP. So, that we were when I first saw that lineup, it was kind of like, well, shit, we better be scoring. Like we better be lighting it up because defensively, like it was going to be a struggle, and effectively so. Like that was sort of a struggle. King, do we have your? Are you in our can you grace us with your presence?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, how are you feeling after that game?
Mixed emotions. I feel like we played one of our worst halves of the year, or since the trade deadline, definitely in the playoffs. And went down big. We came back at the end. I feel like we figured something out. Adjustment will be made. I'm pretty sure Dennis will not start next game. We're either going to see Rui or Vando. I'm thinking it's going to be Rui, just to get some more size out there. And I feel like we are going to win game two, just like you should think. So, yeah, I'm coming out feeling pretty confident.
Understood. Yeah. Here's the tale of it's basically the tale of two halves. That first quarter, in my opinion, and let me just say that I kind of feel very upset, only because the game was very in reach. It was, and credit to Denver, they came out with that energy, like this is our home court, we will defend it. Again, and just looking at the box scores, MPJ had 15 points. He was actually leading the entire Denver Nuggets in terms of plus minus. He was actually plus 20. Defensively, I liked a lot of what MPJ did. As a Laker fan, I did not. And I'll be honest with you, I was kind of borderline cringing, but he showed up. That Denver team really likes to just transition. Like their transition offense is something to behold. Murray was cooking Austin. He was cooking Dennis. He was cooking D'Lo. He was cooking Lonnie. He was cooking everybody that I can think of. Can we agree as a group that 3-guard lineup should not ever exist in this series?
Agreed, 100%. I agree with that.
The lineup that we used, yes, agreed.
I'm not going to say it shouldn't exist. It should not start the game at all.
Okay, that's a fair point. So we have here. How much do you feel? Again, who's looking at the box score?
I am.
You are. KB, are you looking at the box score?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, let's use you because I know King is looking at it and Zen as well. Let me use you as a test subject. How much points do you think Bruce Brown gave for that bench?
How much points do I think he got?
Yeah, just points. And again, this is very arbitrary. I'm just trying to get
16.
Excuse me?
16.
Are you not looking at the box score?
No.
Well, damn, that's really on point. That's 16. So, shit. Okay.
Oh.
Point not proven. All right, so let's go for another one. How much did KCP have?
KCP, I want to say, had 20 points.
Yeah, 21, close enough. And how much do you feel Murray and Jokic combined for?
Murray and Jokic combined for plus 75?
65.
Damn.
Yeah, but the efficiency is rather crazy. So
yeah,
Jokic actually had 3 3-point shots. Like he didn't miss from the 3-point line. He only missed one free throw, but that was kind of like at the tail end of the game. And here's the biggest thing that we need to address for game 2: rebounding. Do we agree on that?
Oh yeah, we talked about that beforehand, saying that rebounding we're gonna get rebounded almost every game.
Yeah. All right, so there was a point that during the playback we were kind of heated, and we were kind of just going back and forth. King, Zen, me, and KB, Allen, and everybody. And by the way, cheap plug: if you do want to see us live, watch the game, it doesn't cost anything. You can just tune in and watch through your TV, and we can go back and forth. You could join us on stage or ask any questions. But the one thing that really got to me, which is actually pretty crazy, was the AD versus Jokic. So I do believe Jokic kind of handily outplayed, like Jokic outplayed AD in that first half, and not in points. It's not like AD did not have any points, but in my point of view, the rebounding, the effort, it's just the package that Jokic does. Like this game kind of highlights why he's the two-time MVP. Like he actually from assists to rebounding to just points. Like he can score from the 3-point line downwards. Basically, it was only to the tail end of the game where we saw that Rui can actually perform pretty admirably against him, and we can have AD roaming, which was not. That was something that I was saying, like, hey, we kind of have to have AD roaming to make this work. Rather than Rui, I was saying LeBron, but still, it kind of worked. But King, do you agree that Jokic outplayed AD in this one, or at least the first half? And you can be honest. Like I
don't have
it is
the
what it is.
exact numbers from the halves. Do you know that what was the splits between them points and rebounds at half?
Splits. I don't have the splits with me right now.
Right, that's what I was trying to find. Because
Yeah, I don't have the splits. The only thing I can remember is that AD had 18 in the half, but only had 2 rebounds. In the half, and you can see the increase in activity where he ended up with 10, so he had 8 rebounds in that second half. So again, like a lot of things has to do schematically, where they put AD on Jokic and they were trying to do this 1v1, and kind of like the slow double from Dennis or the slow double from Austin. Like they were doing this slow double D'Lo. Like it wasn't really working until like they had Rui on him, and AD could actually gobble those rebounds. So I do get your point that it's a team effort, and it's also a schematical thing. Like if you have 3 guards, like it's kind of hard to rebound, if I'm being honest. So Zen, do you agree with that point that Jokic overplayed?
Yeah, he outplayed. Look, here's the thing: AD had a great game. Joker had a greater game. So I'm not. There's really nothing to really knock about AD. He was efficient. Yeah, he was efficient. He shot well, played great defense. He had 3 steals, 2 blocks. He went 14 for 23. Like he had a solid game, 10 rebounds. But we're talking about a matchup of 2 like Titans, 2 Goliaths. But like I said, one had a great game, one had a greater game, and Joker had that greater game tonight.
So Tony,
what's up?
If I were to ask you how many points Nikola Jokic scored in the fourth quarter, what would you think it was?
In the fourth quarter, and I actually don't have the box scores. 6 points.
Nikola Jokic made 3 free throws. That's it.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic also had. Here's the wild part about it. He had more turnovers in the fourth quarter than he had points. So,
okay,
when you say that a player had a better overall game, if you're just gonna look at, hey, his team won, or he out rebounded another player, or whatever you're gonna say, we should be looking at context. You gotta look at you if you can tell me that 1-on-1 Jokic versus Anthony Davis, Jokic had a better basketball game, then you got it. But if you watch this game tonight, there's no way that you can tell me that Anthony Davis was thoroughly outplayed by him. Of course, he had 9 more rebounds or something like that. I think he had like 19 rebounds or something.
Yeah.
He had 21.
He had 21 rebounds. I'm pretty sure at half he had 17 or 18, something like that. So he had 4 rebounds in the second half, and he had 3 points in the fourth quarter. So this is not showing a player. This is showing that, to me, that the Lakers figured out a way to frustrate Jokic. So I'm pretty sure you're going to see next game that adjustment take place. And if you ask me, I'm not going to say AD outplayed Jokic. I'm not going to say Jokic outplayed AD. They both had great games.
Yeah, but to Sen's point, like he did have Jokic had a more impactful game than and not impactful. That's not the word. Jokic actually had a greater game than
I would
AD.
say he had a more impactful game.
Say what?
I would say he had a more impactfl game.
So the impact is what's the reason you would say he had a more impactful game? Are you just doing counting stats? Because if you're going to tell me that he influenced more points, that really doesn't mean that much to me.
Okay, well, considering that he influenced more points and his team also scored more points, I don't know. I just think that's an impactful thing.
Here's the counter that I will say to you when you say that. Anthony Davis deters shots at the rim. So I would say that Anthony Davis also took away points from Denver because when they come into the paint, he's changing the shot, he's blocking the shot, he's making guys think twice and pass the ball out.
And Joker did the same. 34 points, 14 assists, 21 rebounds. They both had the same amount of blocks. AD did have 3 steals. One was a plus 11. The other one was a minus 8. They both had great games. One had a greater game.
Okay.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, so all right. How many? So somebody said in the playback, and I think it was you, King, that the rebounding is a team effort, right? Or it's
Correct.
a team. Okay, cool.
Correct.
So, do you know the difference between the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets in terms of the rebounding battle?
It probably is a heavy. Honestly, I think it got a little bit closer in the second half, but I'm thinking at least plus 12 for Denver.
It was plus 17.
Okay.
So it was lopsided. In the first half, it was kind of pathetic, if I'm being honest. And that's something that we need to correct because the rebounding, the second chance points, and I'm trying to look at the stats again. This is not the next day. This is literally off watching the game live. So bear with us. But points off turnovers, that was 14 points. Points off paint, they actually beat us by 2 points. Fouls, again, no foul differential. For all those Warrior fans out there you go, no foul differential. But anyway, how can I say this? Like, there's some good to get out of this, but there's some really bad to get out of this. And specifically, like, Aaron Gordon, for whatever reason, like, he was missing shots. I believe that he's going to do better. Shooting wise, the quality of shots that they were getting, I'm not too sure if we can contest to everything because we're going to have to give something up. And honestly, for people saying that this is the ceiling, I don't think this is the ceiling that Denver can get to. There's I think they have another gear. Now, the Lakers most definitely have another gear. LeBron, in my opinion, played. So what was LeBron's stat line? LeBron had, again, he did not make a 3 this game, 0-4. He had some missed free throws. He actually went 8 of 11. Actually, the free throw wise, Russell didn't get any shots. Dennis Schroeder got absolutely no fouls. Hashimura has it was only 3 players. It was literally Davis, LeBron, and Reeves. Those were the 3 players that basically drew fouls. Versus, let's say, Denver Nuggets, which you have Gordon, Jokic, Murray, and Brown. So it was a very physical game. I do want to just bring out the fact that 3-guard lineup is just horrible. It is what it is. And
when 2 of those guards don't show up to fucking play, of course it's going to be horrible. Let's see. We got a fucking German national who scored 6 points on 2 for 3 shooting. And then we have a guy who wants to get us to pay $30 million who had 8 points on 4 for 11, 0 for 3, and was a whopping minus 25. Yeah, he played like hot shit.
Yeah, hot shit is a very I do agree with that. KB, what would you have done differently just watching the game?
I mean, in the game, I'm not gonna go as far to what Zin's doing. He's literally massacring players that brought us to this point. So, okay, I'm not doing that. What I'm gonna say is this: disappointed in the loss, of course. Never like to lose. And I can see what Darvin Ham was trying to do, but I think it was an over assumption. I would have still started Vando instead of Schroeder. But after watching the game in totality, and I'm probably gonna have to go back and watch it again, that lineup of Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, Rui, and then you have LeBron and AD. That lineup right there, I think, will probably be the starting lineup. The reason why, and I could be wrong, the reason why I believe that'll work, excuse the train, live next to the train track. So, I think that'll be the lineup moving forward because Rui can definitely bang with Joker down low while giving AD the pretty much the freedom to roam. So he can get block shots, rebounds, and will help get a lot of the wear and tear off LeBron as well. Well, not wear and tear, but so he won't have to exert so much energy like he does on both ends of the floor, but more so on the offensive end. So I think that lineup actually will be efficient. And a lot of people are worried that without D'Lo being the star lineup, we won't have this or that. To be honest, if D'Lo's not going to come aggressive every single game, we can't afford to start him. So I believe what we're going to do is with that lineup, Rui, Schroeder, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and AD. I think that'll be the starting lineup moving forward until D'Lo does what he's supposed to do. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it, just assuming that D'Lo's not going to start anymore. But the way that D'Lo came out, which was passive, can't have that. So I'll end there.
Yeah. So if we, D'Lo, 4 of 11, 0 of 3, 8 points. He was getting cooked beyond recognition on Murray. And honestly, those 8 points kind of came from from the second half, right? Like that third quarter. Like I think he was just scoring, and I could be wrong. But honestly, man, like if LeBron makes 1 or 2 of those threes, we would have been right there. Like if LeBron would have made 2 or 3 free throws more, we would have been right there. He didn't play a bad game, but when you have LeBron out rebounding AD, when you have like Rui had 0 rebounds, Vanderbilt only had 1. He only played 10 minutes. That's another one. And Lonnie Walker had 6 points, but again, this is and people are gonna probably crucify me or whatever, but this you have to. Vanderbilt can't. He just can't. Like at some point, you have to pull him out out of the rotation and try Wenyan, try not Tristan Thompson, but just somebody, Trey Brown, like, and maybe not the size, but it's just the fact that you need a scoring threat, and I think if you don't do that, it's going to create problems. That Rui Vando LeBron lineup wasn't working right. I would love to have more statistical analysis on it, but honestly, from the eye test, it wasn't working. Yeah, it was a shitty game, and it was a good game at the end, which was like we were having an open discussion. But I want to switch it up, and honestly, I want to start with King. And I know this conversation is going to be premature. I know it's not ideal, but I just have to have it. King, what are we going to do with D'Lo? Because this team can have like these performances where he has a great game, then he has a very bad game, and then a great game, and then a very horrible game. Like, we just can't have this. So what's your solution with D'Lo? Do you start him? Do you bench him? Do you cut him?
Yeah, you got to start D'Angelo Russell because he's your starting point guard. Even if he's having a bad game shooting, he still provides you spacing. He provides you ball handling. He's a very high IQ defender. Also, he is a very good passer. He doesn't get enough credit for being the floor general out there, the main ball handler. He's a pretty good rebounder. So it's things that I watch in the game, and we look at box score and we say, he played a terrible game. Yeah, he didn't shoot the ball good at all. He had the one little spurt in the third quarter. I think he made all 4 of his shots in that one little spurt. And then Denver kind of came right back and took the momentum away. And then we kind of just ran with Dennis after that, which, I agree with it. But this has happened before. This happened in the Memphis series. And he came back the next game and dropped 31 on them. And everything was fine in the world. So players have bad games. Anthony Davis gets crucified when he has a bad game. LeBron James gets crucified when he has a bad game. It's just the way of the world. So he'll step up.
Understood. Zen, bench him, cut him. What's your deal with D'Lo? What would you do moving for game 2 and whatever you want to take the conversation to?
Well, look, he's with us now. I don't want him anywhere near the state of California, for next season. King says that, he's a floor general. Well, floor generals get more than 3 assists. So, look, you want to say he had a bad shooting night? Okay, cool. He shot 4 for 11. He had 8 points. We know that once every 4 or 5 games, he's going to have a great game, and then all is right in the world. D'Angelo Russell has not done anything to convince me that he's worth $30 million a year. Which is perfectly fine because you know what? We once offered a guy $21 million, 21.5. He said no, and the rest of the NBA decided that he was only worth a 1-year contract for $5 million. So, for what he is, for the role that he is supposed to fill as a starting point guard, a $30 million starting point guard, he hasn't convinced me that he's worth it. Too inconsistent. Just way too inconsistent. And we know the good game is going to come. We know, and it's going to be followed by 3 more crappy ones. So he has not. If we're in a period of time where if this was a relationship, we call it courting. Well, D'Angelo Russell has not done anything to really convince me this should be a long-term relationship. So, it's good for the time being. We get what we can from him, and then next season we move on. Like he's not trustworthy. He's not reliable. I can't depend on him.
Okay.
We move on. We move on to what, sir? Explain the plan.
Okay, well, if you want me to explain what we're going to do for free agency on May 16th, I don't have a plan, but I'm sure there will be other players that would be available, and we can get similar production for probably half the price. There will be other players available. D'Angelo Russell's not going to be the only one.
Take your head out of the gutter, because I know what you're thinking, and it's never going to happen.
I'll allow Tony to deal with that as far as the cap goes, because we're hamstrung, and because we have D'Angelo Russell's bird rights, he's really the only option we have. If you want to,
trades can be made. Trades can be made. We can figure it out. Trades can be made.
We definitely can figure it out, but let's then. I get that point. Let's go to KB. KB, what do you think, man?
Sheesh, man. Hold on. What was the question again? That's what I need to ask so I can answer it properly.
Well, hey, bench D'Lo, cut D'Lo, get him out of rotation. Basically,
okay.
What would you do for game 2 regarding D'Lo? And
okay.
Just and by the way, just to add more contents to what Zen is saying, game 1 of the Memphis series, D'Lo had 19 points, 7 of 17. Game 2, 2 of 11, 5 points. And then he had game 3, 4, 17 points. Game 5, 11 points. Game 6, close out, 31. Again, Golden State Warriors series. Game 1, 19 points, 10, 21, 4, 15, 19. And then we got a game like this. Game 1 highlights kind of like the same thing with game 2 of that Memphis series. Like he was atrocious, really. Like he was the leading -25 from the team. So what would you do, KB?
We're not cutting him. Like I said, I might be making an overassumption. I just thought that lineup worked very well together when it came to D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and AD. Maybe that's more of a closing lineup than a starter. But I definitely say stick. Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We were winning majority of our games with D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Vando, LeBron, and AD. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's nothing to fix. We need defense on the court, and our defense turns into our offense. So I think definitely keep D'Lo in the starting lineup. You just have to, as a coach with Darvin Ham, you have to emphasize. I can't believe I'm saying this because he's a professional athlete. You have to emphasize we need you to play aggressive 100% of the time, never passive.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying with that, man.
No, and it makes sense, man. Like we found something where we can roam, have AD roam. You can live with a bit of Rui on Jokic. It's probably not going to be something that you do the entire game. You have to switch it up. Jokic is good enough where he can kind of figure that out. I can't stop thinking that we were right there. Like we were right there. And by the way, I did not know Austin Reeves had 5 fouls. Anyway, that's like anyway. Honestly, man, to be totally fair, I'm not sure what we can do for game 2. Only because I'll say this. If you have that starting lineup and you make that rotation, you still have to make defensive stops. Our offense has to flow better. Anthony Davis has been, this 14 from 23 shots, 40-point performance, great. I don't expect him to do that every game. Now that we're in a position that we kind of have to, we can't have every other day Davis. We kind of have to have everyday Davis. Like, again, alternating day Davis, whatever you want to call him, you just can't have that. Like for us to have the opportunity specifically for game too. We kind of have to have Davis have the same level of impact. And the offensive rebounds, we gotta take care of that. That's an insane split. Like, we let them get 10 plus. Like, think of that. Like, we had 5, they had 15. Like, we gotta crash the boards. Like, there's no, if we don't, and maybe if you add Rui, we can do better. But if we don't do that, like, how many possessions do you guys remember that we were like constantly like, oh, they missed, let me take the rebound? We didn't. Then they had what? Basically, they had the opportunity. Like, we had the stops, but we couldn't capitalize because we couldn't grab the rebound. So, yeah, personally, I would start thinking of reducing D'Lo's minutes if he's not producing. This series is going to be rough on him. He's going to be cooked. At some point, I may try to use Trey Brown. I may try, like, we kind of need to use Beasley. Like, we kind of have to apply pressure on the offensive end. We got to make these guys run. Like, we're going to have to run some action that is not only like, it's not AD and LeBron all the time. Like, we kind of have to have some action for Troy, Lonnie, whoever you want to put. But
I'm right there with you. I think I'm right there with you, and I think Darvin Ham actually made the adjustment mid-game, where he just sat. He's like, "D'Lo, you're not playing in the fourth quarter." Period.
Oh yeah, no.
So I think that was pretty good.
No, it really was. It really was. All right. So to close this out, King, what's your prediction for Game 2? And honestly, just what's your does this change your prediction for the series?
10-point win by the Lakers.
Okay.
AD is the best player on the floor. You probably have a similar output from LeBron, and D'Lo steps up.
Gotcha. All right. So, Zen, what about you?
We'll win Game 2. Doesn't change my outlook. I have Lakers winning in 6. We'll win Game 2. Right. Probably in the 7-point range.
Gotcha. KB?
I have us winning in Game 2 by 4.
By 4. All right. I have us winning by 2 or 1. It's going to be a close game. You can attribute what happened today to the acclamation of Denver. You can attribute a lot of things to what happened today, but honestly, basketball-wise, we saw a lot of things that we didn't like. Again, Denver's number 1 for a reason. They really are. So let's get it done. Let's change that starting lineup, and let's get the win. Let's get that win, regardless if it's 1 point, 20 points. If you have to play even Max Christie, I can care less. Again, schematically speaking, let's apply some size to Denver because they have size. Pause. But anyway, appreciate everybody tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, this is the meeting of the gold mines. Again, thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe. Do whatever you got to do. Peace out. See you to the next time. Game 2.